General Hospital spoilers gush Sasha Gilmore Corbin, Sophia Matson, knew why Michael Corinthos, Chad Duell, was calling for her when he was momentarily brought out of sedation. He wanted to discuss the child she is carrying, his child. Michael knows he may not survive this ordeal, and he likely doesn't want his child to grow up not knowing how he feels, or not being properly cared for the way he or she would be if Michael were around. He may have lost his opportunity to renegotiate the terms of their agreement with Sasha, and that's going to leave her dealing with the brunt of the outfall from his accident far more than he will have to anytime soon. Michael is on his way to Germany where he'll be treated, which could be a long-term event that keeps him removed from Port Charles for much longer than Sasha's pregnancy. What will that look like for Sasha and child while Michael is worlds away? The divorce is on pause. Had Michael died, Sasha may have felt more inclined to tell people the truth about the paternity of her child. At the same time, it could have driven her further into silence out of fear that without Michael as a liaison between herself and the Quartermaines, she could lose her child to them or be forced to allow them to be in the child's life. Nevertheless, as long as Michael is away in Germany being treated, his divorce is going to be stalled. Thus, any information that comes out pointing the finger of adultery at Michael could harm his chances of custody or using Willow's affair against her in the proceedings. Sasha will have to keep quiet until Michael can resolve this matter, and that won't happen while he's gone, which may be a good bit longer than she is pregnant. Gossip Sasha never wanted Michael to be involved. Of course, Sasha shouldn't be too shaken about Michael's departure. He has survived this long, and that might leave her feeling encouraged that they will have time to talk another time. She has time, and this isn't the time to make demands of anyone around him. However, she can't imagine what Michael wanted to discuss with her because they had already ironed out all of the details. She didn't want Michael to be involved at all, and he agreed to that as long as she stayed in Port Charles. But could he have changed his mind? And might she also change hers after coming face to face with the reality that Michael may not have made it through this? Second thoughts creep in. It seemed like the perfect way to keep things neat and tidy before. Keeping the baby's father a secret would keep Michael's marriage intact if he wanted it. And it wouldn't work against him that he stepped out on his wife while he's going after her for cheating on him. Sasha Gilmore Corbin sat by the hospital bed, her fingers intertwined, knuckles white from the pressure of holding herself together. The steady beep of the monitors was both a comfort and a torment. Michael Corinthos lay motionless, sedated, unaware of the emotional war waging inside her. When his eyelids fluttered open briefly, she knew he had something to say, something she wasn't sure she was ready to hear. The child, their child. His lips parted, his voice barely above a whisper, but before he could utter the words, the sedation pulled him back under. She exhaled sharply, pushing herself up from the chair. Did he want to renegotiate their arrangement? Had he changed his mind about staying uninvolved? She had to prepare for the worst. Michael was being transferred to Germany for advanced treatment, a process that could take months, perhaps longer than her pregnancy. What would that mean for her, for the baby? The agreement had been simple. She would raise the child alone, and Michael would keep his distance to protect his marriage. But now, uncertainty clawed at her resolve. The Quartermaines would be relentless if they caught wind of the baby's true paternity. If Michael wasn't around to protect her, what chance did she have of keeping them from interfering? Sasha left the hospital that night with more questions than answers, her thoughts swirling in a chaotic dance of fear and what-ifs. Days passed, and Sasha tried to maintain her composure, but the silence from Germany was deafening. Michael's condition was stable, but updates were few and far between. She kept her head down, working at deception, avoiding the prying eyes of the Quartermaines and Port Charles' ever-churning rumor mill. But secrets had a way of slipping through the cracks. At the Metro Court, over whispered conversations and exchanged glances, murmurs of Sasha's pregnancy grew louder. The speculation about the father was inevitable. Nobody's seen Sasha with anyone, a patron mused. Maybe she's keeping it quiet because of Michael, another guest. The words sent a chill through Sasha as she overheard them. It was only a matter of time before someone put the pieces together. She needed to decide, would she fight to keep the secret, or would she let the truth unravel on its own? As her belly grew, so did her doubts. She had convinced herself that keeping Michael at a distance was for the best. It had been easier that way, clean, controlled. But life was rarely neat, and Michael's near-death experience had shaken something loose inside her. Could she really do this alone? Did she even want to? One evening, as she ran her hand over her growing stomach, she imagined a different future, one where Michael was part of their child's life. The thought terrified and comforted her in equal measure. She needed answers. She needed to talk to Michael. But Michael was worlds away, fighting a battle she couldn't reach. The weight of that realization pressed down on her. She wasn't just protecting herself anymore. She was protecting their child. And that changed everything.